We are live on I Am Urban Malachi-RESEAN show. This is endorsed and brought to you by Mary Express Homes LLC. Ramble, guys. I'm in high spirits this afternoon. It's been my best day, so I'm. If you can't tell, I'm wearing it. Oh my gosh! Do you have a U-neck? Turn your U-neck into a V-neck. Oh gosh, I'm trying to work this one out here where it makes sense. Oh gosh. All right, we got a straight ironed out shirt. Oh, I just need to hit the cleaners this week. All right, guys, I got another one for you guys. Another great video ahead of us. This evening we're going to be talking about how to monetize your county's assignment list. I want to first do some housekeeping before we first get started. Thank you guys for coming in, liking, commenting, and subscribing. If you guys have any questions, please, by all means, ask them below. We would do our best to get to them. I got a really special one here for you guys today. What we're going to be doing is solving property owners' challenges in exchange for ownership and control of their property. In the means of us doing so, we're considering them and describing them as boxes with tops on them, with people and individuals inside of them that are dealing with challenges. Many faces of the challenges that we've came across come in the lines of divorce, where he's wrong and she's right. And we come across probate, whereas the property owner, the deceased individual, is no longer here in the lands of the living. And prior to their state of being deceased, they were in the positions, whereas they did not have a will. Were they not in the position? Okay, yeah, that's still correct. All right, so they did not have a will prior to them being deceased. And at the timing of their being deceased, and that there was no will, there was heirs that were unclaimed property. So what occurs in a probate? Oh my gosh, what occurs in a probate is simply a simple process where the magistrate or the court, most case common is the courts will take over and assign a designated executor of the estate. At the point where the property is placed into a probate proceedings, it is made a local publishing where the property should be rightfully claimed by the heirs to the property. During the processing of the probates, what you would rarely see is that the executor will delegate the assets and mitigate the risks of the estate to assure that the rightful heirs are gaining their rightful shares. Another challenge that we face, that we solve are we solve pre-foreclosures. Generally, in pre-foreclosure, this isn't an overnight stance. This delinquency normally happens somewhere within a 6-month time span. Within 90 days of the foreclosure sale, the property owner will receive a default lettering stating that they are delinquent on the mortgage. Many cases, this is not a financial suit, monetary wise. It's sometimes a stipulation inside of the mortgage that needs some rendering, deeper looks into, in which what my company does is we take it in consideration, first getting a third-party authorization from the decision maker. In the event that the decision maker then decides to provide us with a third-party authorization, we then begin our negotiations with the lenders and the foreclosure attorney to stop the foreclosure. During our due diligence period, what we are doing is simply noticing that within the next 30 days within that time frame before the auction is only where a last pending status is, and this is where the attorneys are now involved. Now, I would make sure that I state this now, is that I will defer to an attorney in your local state, as each state is determined differently in the case that may be and how their compliance is set for a judiciary state, rather it's judiciary or non-judicial state. The states that I am performing in are non-judicial states, whereas the attorneys are rightfully rendered gaining access to the properties via the lenders. So they are hired by the lenders to perform the auction, to utilize the property and the delinquency of the mortgage note to properly claim their debts is by means of the foreclosure sale. So the next 30 days after that, getting closer to the auction date, the mortgage note holder will then receive a letter of foreclosure action against the property. So the les pendens in Latin is just a legal proceeding, and it gives them a bit of a cloud over the title. Well, it gives them a cloud over the title, in which the property would then be sold on that auction date if it's not stopped. With that, we do our best to get in contact with these property owners, so to figure out as much information as we can during our due diligence period, begin our negotiations to stop the foreclosure, and at best to remedy and seek and findings of where we can remedy the mortgage note, and or find the rights of faults and solvents the challenge at hand. Another challenge that we face is tax delinquencies, in which we're going to be looking at inside of this particular video here, where the property owner may have not or may not be living in that property, in which they are considered absentee, which is another challenge that we face to solve, and property owners are faced that they are challenged by. So how we solve this troubled property is super simple. We come across a property where a property owner may have went delinquent on their taxes, whether if it been by their own will, or just simply we're not able to keep up with the taxes along with the property. So what we do is we simply utilize one of our methodologies called wholesaling in order to do so. Closing to close on the property. With this look like an inertia Gatia, what happens is you have a subject A, Miss Sarah Sue, who's delinquent on her mortgage. And you guys know, if you watched any of my other 23 videos, welcome to video number 24, guys. Day number 19. Yes. So we're on episode number 24, day number 19 on the 90-day challenge. And I look forward, as this 90 days continuously goes on, in another 90 days from now, when we complete this challenge, I look forward to letting you guys know what our next objective is. But as far as I can tell right now, the next 90 days are absolutely promising. So far, I mean, it really enjoys. But what a tax delinquency, or during our wholesaling process, simply what we're seeking to do, and I tell you guys in my previous, as I've told you in my previous videos, is that when you go out to these auctions and or where individuals are buying these properties, we're pretty much realizing that what they're doing is they're placing down an earnest money deposit during our experience of dealing with auction properties. And that earnest money deposit doesn't even go towards their end balance. They hold that as a retainer for the auction that they are participating in. Then what that allows us to do is to also take into account that not only they place in this security, yet they're not gaining anything from it. So what we see is that as an opportunity to make a leverage point for us to place that same predicament. Whereas if the property owner is willing to bid on a $250,000 property in 23153 area code, or zip code, which is the Norfolk zip code. So we go to Mr. J. Joe. Mr. J. Joe says, hey, yeah. Or we go to Mr. J. Joe. We say, hey, we're looking to purchase 3 to 5 real estate deals on a basis. We just noticed that you purchased this property here. You purchased it for $250,000. You bidded on it, and you put an extra $5,000 on it. So if you're buying properties in the 23513, we would like you to open the opportunity to you, maybe sit down over a cup of coffee and explain what we do as far as what you guys are seeing here on the I Am Urban Malachi-RESEAN show, is providing a service to these individuals who are going to then purchase the property or purchase our assignment agreement inside of the property. So Mr. J. Joe says, yeah, sure, I'll take it on. So you go out and you find Miss Sarah Sue. Miss Sarah Sue then allows you to, you go to Miss Sarah Sue, you say, hey, look, Miss Sarah Sue, I came across your property, 123 Main Street. I'm now noticing that you of course, because you do your due diligence, you see on the public side that there's a delinquency in their taxes. And with that, you're now able to provide them with a service. And she could very much even tell you this information, where we gain our elaborate of our due diligence period is from actual decision makers in the process who can acknowledge the challenges that they are facing. So Ms. Sarah Sue's on the phone. We say, hey, Ms. Sarah Sue, we're looking to buy a few more properties, and we really took interest into your property. I was curious if you were actually interested in selling this property to us, in which we would we are looking to purchase just a few more properties, in which for this property to be one of them. She could say very much say, yeah, I inherited this home through probate, where my someone in my family passed away, and I don't want anything to do with this property. Best case scenario is, I'm willing to take what you guys give me. So we do our due diligence. We work with realtors. Realtors are able to give us a comparable sales of what this property would sell like on the market, so that we know what kind of pricing point we can purchase the property at. So let's hypothetically say that Ms. Sarah Sue is $50,000 in arrears of her mortgage, at best, at the closing costs and etc. Let's say we're at about at 12%. Let's say we're a little bit over, at best, $57,000. I'm averaging here, guys. So best at $57,000, we know that we could flip this property, put another $50,000 for work, so $107,000. Keep numbers super simple. We know Mr. J. Joe is going to close on this property. He buys any property under $250,000, but he sees that the value in this property is at $200,000. So you can see the difference in the math. So we can offer him this property for the value at which we purchased the property at, and he could continue the purchasing of the to do the due diligence inside the property and findings that he could close on this property and make him some value out of it for closing with us at $127,000. All right, super simple math, guys. Right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna place Miss Sarah Sue on an agreement for the total amount of which it would take for us to bring this property up to a 2024 speed, and at which then we will assign our purchase agreement over, which is common law country. We're going to sign our purchase agreement over to an buyer, assigning it, which will now provide Mr. J. Joe the opportunity to now close on that property or settle on that property via the assignment agreement, distributing us an assignment fee of the difference in Ms. Sarah Sue's agreement and Mr. J. Joe's agreement. So in the example here, $57,000 is where we're at after all closes and taxes, etc. Ms. Sarah Sue, and then we're going to double close at a later date with our interest, of course, because we want to ensure that we're compliant with our local state statutories. I tell you guys to go out, reach out to your local escrow title companies and see if they're investor friendly, so that to see if they do an A to B closing. And at that point, what we do here in my state is a subject A to subject B closing. And then once we are now retaining the property, what we then do is return our pretty much we wait a bit of timing, do a transactional lending, and then we close on that property with Mr. J. Joe at the end. So it's a double closing property. So it's A to B to B to C, and then C to D, which would be the ending transaction between ourselves and Mr. J. Joe, who's going to close and use his own fundings, whether it be his own cash on hand performance, and which is debt on debt, and or utilizing his own credit. So we don't use any of our own credit. We don't use we do not use any of our own cash. However, if we place this property under agreement for $57,000, and Mr. J. Joe says that he can see that this property could sell at well over that $57,000, and he may only have to put $50,000 worth of work into it, so he's at $107,000 altogether. So we put $20,000 on top. $127,000 is all in what he's going to pay. We make $20,000 in a deal, and Mr. J. Joe can then go and later sell that property on putting work into that property, fix it up, and then put it on the market, which is also what we consider as BRRRR method, buying, rehabbing, renting, refinance on the tenant's money and or the loan rather, and we repeat at the end. So that is how that works. It is a ongoing infinity money system. That is how we make our big kahunas here. Is simply arbitrarily assigning our rights over to the end buyer. So what I'm going to do today, I have a very interesting concept that I want to provide you with here today. Interesting. I won't say so much as interesting. It's just simply going over what we've been talking about constantly over and over again in our videos. And that's just how we are reaching out to these property owners. So what I'm going to do is we're going to do a little fun web surfing today. And we're going to find means to reach out to property owners. So I want to work with properties that are in the locales of, I have buyers in the, let's see if we could find some properties in the Virginia area. So I'm going to put Accomack County, Virginia, and then I want to type in assignment list, which is sometimes at best. And you can check with your local. You can check with your local commissioner site. Your commissioner site can also tell you this information if your state's commissioner's office is who delegates this list. So let's see. So what we want to look for is a prominent list that we can search where properties may be possibly tax delinquent. So maybe they consider it as a tax lien list. Okay, so this is a property listing service. I'm looking for a .va.us site or something of that sort that can give me a close-in proximity of real estate properties that may be delinquent. So I found it here. Here we are. So I'm clicking on the property listing system. And then what I'm also going to do is once this site comes up, I noticed that it doesn't immediately say it under the property listing site. But however, by my due diligence, I'm able to see here where there is a surplus list on the site. So we're not looking for any of these. So we could come here and then go to the surplus sites, which is found right under here. And we can go to government deals. And then we're looking for real estate properties. And we are looking for in the zip code of Accomack County, Virginia, because they outsource theirs. It's not actually through the county. They outsource it to what looks like to be at the surplus site, the government surplus site. So what we're going to do is we're just going to use Accomack County, Virginia zip code, which is going to be best used as 23414. There's several postal codes, but I just want to be in the proximity of this area. 23414, 250 miles. Well, that's too far. 100 miles best. And here we go. All right, so they don't have any properties under this location. All right, so they do not have they have surplus of other items, and that's an advertisement. So we have auctions such as here, but this is in Phoenix, Arizona. We're looking for something a little bit more closer to the area, but we also want to know for certain that it's real estate. So view all listings, and we want real estate buildings, and here we are. So none in the area of where I was just seeking. However, they do provide us with online auctions from a completely separate county. So maybe that's the county does not have any surplus at the moment, and also it could be several reasons in reasonings, and or how they go about doing their how the means in processing and conducting their surplus properties may just differ from other states, or other counties rather, because this state actually does have a site. It just differs by the county. So as you can see here, this property parcel is 2506 Multi-B Avenue, which is closing in another 40 days. In which I'm going to add all of this good information, and it is the lot number, as we can see here. And what I'm going to do is place this information inside of my calendar. and also place it on a bigger screen for you guys to see. And as it comes up, I'm going to click on it. So here you guys can see the actual property in real time, or at the latest, of course, Google Maps video, videography, or photography. Ooh, words. Tongue twisters! Alrighty, so we're going to go to event, and we're going to type in surplus property, of course, or property inquiry. Still a property inquiry. Okay. All right, so we have the address in there, and we're going to place the site address that we found it on, so that we can keep up with the timing of it. It's due in another 40 days on September 5th at 4:20. And this is a surplus property. Surplus meaning government, meaning somewhere along the lines, this has made it beyond the points that the government has noticed that this was a nuance to them. So they're going to attempt to sell off the property, taking it off the government's balance sheet. Of course, corporations can't really own properties. They cannot own properties because they only living beings can own property. Own and possess. Many times when properties are in a 420. Oh, I can't put 1620. I can put 1630, but that'd be beyond the time. So we put 16 just to be on time. Many times what happens is they have to offset the corporation will have to offset it, and it'll take it off their balance sheet, but only beings can own property. Real estates can own properties. An estate being a being. All right, so this one I'm still going to put this one as property inquiry just to be sure it is uniformity. Okay, and today is the 28th, but the date for this is going to be September 5th at 4:20. I'm going to turn this on so I have my notifications set. And then what I'm going to do is assure that I have my follow-up as duplicate so that I can follow up a little bit earlier than that week's 1, 2. And we're going to start it off early because I have no other dates on that early morning, so I can get to it in my early morning. All right, so we have that in the notes now. What we want to do next is, if you have not caught any of the other videos, but you guys know, thank you guys for coming in, liking, commenting, subscribing. Share this with a friend, someone that may be overworked or underpaid, or someone with a retirement that would like to retire early, or to have a vehicle that can net them a profit on their parked investment, or if at best someone who is simply looking to make some extra money in their spare time. So what we're doing here is we are utilizing the property that we just found, 2508 Maltby Avenue, which is being auctioned off on September the 5th through the government deals, a liquidity service provider that is offsetting government properties, in which we do have an auction inventory ID along with bidder applications and things of that nature. that the city is not looking to hold on to the property. They're looking to offset it off their books and balance sheet. We're aiming to be within tax liens. So this could potentially have been a tax lien, and they have offset the lien. And the best means to offset the lien is by simply providing the public notice for the tax lien and placing it with an auctioneer, which they have done and followed through the compliance of the administration process, and now have made it public record for the property to be, for the abandoned property to be claimed, and the debts to be remedied on the property. So we're going to assure that we are contacting a decision maker in this case. So in order to do so, we're going to, well, first and foremost, let's look into see who currently is the owner by going to the local assessors. My apologies. Going to the local assessors and assuring that we are speaking to the rightful decision makers at this current moment, because we want to assure that they even know that the property could be potentially being auctioned off, and that there could be a remedy here, and or at best finding a price point at which they would be open to liquidating this property, if in the case may be that they do not live in this current property. So we're going to use Netter Online, and what we're going to do is find the, I'm going to use the zip code that I have here on the property, which is 23504. And once that populates up, what I will then have is the Norfolk City tax assessors. Clicking here to go data, and here is the site itself. I'm going to place this information in here. That's the date that's being foreclosed on. Let's separate the wheat from the chaff. And here's the property. Oh, it's 2 parcels in one. Nice. So they're looking to auction it off for $35,000, starting the bid at $500, and the total valuation of the property is $161,000. So a little less than a third of the property's value is actually being auctioned off here. So if there is not a lien on this particular property already, outside of the tax lien, this could be a potential deal here. But I want to use one more site through the American Mortgage company that can provide us with a up-to-date time frame of when the property, or if the property has a mortgage lien against the property. So we're trying to do our due diligence as best as possible before we actually contact the property owner. So when we get information from them, so what I'm going to use is PropWire for this particular property. So I want to be able to, I want to know an insight of what's going on, and then get the full-on picture when I speak to the property owner. Of course, I'm not going to have all the information. They have to provide us with information that can really not narrow our search in. And in order to do so, we want to use PropWire to see such. So we see this individual has 6 other properties in which they could be potentially open to sell. 3 in which are in Philadelphia, 1 in Ardmore, another one in Philadelphia. So maybe this person does not live here, in which our app has shown us that this is an offset property, off-market property, absentee owner, free and clear, high equity, intra-family transfers, meaning it was inside of the family, a transfer inside of the family, and an out-of-state owner. So this particular owner may be currently living here at this address. Based off of our assessor site, we've noted that the mailing address does comply with what we were just seeing on PropWire. So what I'm going to do now is pop open, because I don't see any, what I was looking for was if there was a mortgage along with this property, which I do not see. So I'm under the impression that maybe, so we do know that there's a tax delinquency. So we know that this cannot be corrected. and of course that this would be the delinquency because it's a bearing number, so it is technically still a delinquency. So we want to find where the best place contact for us would be in this case, because if they're $1,930, but this is the tax information that PropWire is showing us. The actual tax where we could see, let's see, it may be on this site, should be, in which I do not see it. And this individual has just purchased this home 2 years ago, so inherited because there was a previous individual with the same last name, and we know that it was intrafamily by our third party. So I want to see area sales and civic league. I'm searching for, let's see if there's any code enforcement cases in here. There are. So let's see. Inoperable vehicle. We close the status. They corrected the violation on this one. So obviously this property has been a nuance. There has many violations that have occurred at this particular property within the last couple of years of the ownership being transferred. So those are showings of burdensomes, especially if the county is calling them nuances or proclaiming that they're nuances. And we know that there is a delinquency on there. So there could be some troubleshomes that are arising out of this case scenario here. So I do have a bit of the due diligence period that I'm looking to have done. There's just one more teetering ideal I want to take a look at. And I want to see if I can actually look up the tax delinquency on this particular case here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go to Norfolk tax payment, and I want to see if they're actually provide me with the information I need to come across the real estate tax. Oops, go back. There it is. All right, we're going to search, and of course we're going to accept the disclosures. Read. I'm not going to stick my finger on my nose, but you guys know what I mean. Read. All right, so I'm going to drop the parcel ID in here, and of course we have 93 records that come up from this. So let's see. Let's view the last recent 3. Hang tight. We got a due date for 6/6/5, which is the latest one. So let's take a look. All right, so we do have a tax delinquency on this one. We have $2,011 that are due on this one that can be paid. And let's see if there's any related invoices. And looks like the most recent paid up to date was, is there a way for me to, let's see. No. Okay, let me take a look and see. Oh, here we go. All right, so here's an up-to-date invoice bill, which is due for the 5th of June 2025. So we got a year out. We have a assessment valuation. And so let's take a look here. All right, so let's go to give these individuals a call. I have quite a bit of information that's current on this property. So we're going to use the address that was for the mailing address. That is reported by the county assessors. And what we're going to do is use Netter Online. Oh, my apologies. FastPeopleSearch.com, TruePeopleSearch.com. And I'm going to place the address in there. We need to break this one up. All right, once that's done, we're going to place that in there. Capturing this. There's the person's name we're looking for. And I'm going to do the same for TruePeopleSearch.com. Reason why I do both sites is because they give me more insight for 2 for 1. I do use a completely separate site that is not for public access for this information. So I'm giving you guys the free 99 version to be able to use so that you have access. Sure, Toscano Law Group, you guys can give us an advertisement fee. Sure, we'll be sending that in the mail. Destiny Cartwright. And let's see. All right, we do have a list of numbers here in which we can call. And I'm going to place them over here in my notes. And I'm going to place, if there's an email address, I can send them some I can send them an email as well. And they do have emails, so we can send them an email as well. Let's see if there's any emails on this one site too. Sure, Bitly, you guys can also send us a sponsorship for the advertisements you guys are doing on our show unwarrantedly. All right, so of course you guys know I like to see the other names that are tained to it just in case. Because see, this was the previous owner of the property, so we don't know if they're still amongst the living. If they to be so, then we can reach out to them. But this is a probate, or well, we don't know if this is probate, so I don't want to assume that. What we do know is that there has been an update in the property ownership, and several of the same numbers are aligning with the current owner. So we're going to follow within the lines of our Inspector Gadget hats and use the information that we have to bring up the information. There we go. And I'm going to use this information too, because these are numbers as well. And we're going to drop these down below. And then any emails that are aligned with this property, which are the same emails from the second site that we used, which was True People Search. And now what I'm going to do are call these individuals up and see how we could provide them a service by taking this property off of their shoulders. And if there's no mortgage in the property, then we can see what offer they're willing to, what they're willing to take as far as an offer on this particular property. Oh, and yeah, let me separate the wheat from the chaff on this one too, so I can remove all properties duplicate numbers. Just want to make sure I don't call the same number twice. Okay, 3, 1, 4. All right, so let's give it a go, shall we?
Welcome to Verizon Wireless. Your call.
All right.
Hello. We can help you find.
All right.
We're sorry, your call cannot be completed as dialed. Please check the number and dial again, or call your operator.
Welcome to Verizon Wireless.
All right. Neither of those numbers have worked, so what we're going to do is send them a mailer along with the property's information. And letting them know that we're interested in the property. If you guys need any of the links to the properties information, or if you guys need any links to how we get in contact with these individuals as far as our scripts goes, you guys can type in at your email address, shoot us an email at evameriexpresshomes@gmail.com, and we can send you access to those. It's not partially free, it's completely free. All right, so let's see. So we don't have any names and numbers for that particular individual. As you guys know, our Strive for 5, we call them 3 times, leave them a voicemail. If they do not answer, then after a voicemail, we send them a text. After we send them a text, we send them an email. Once we send them an email, we either door knock and or send them a mailer, which is technically 6. But hey, you guys get one. You guys get one for the price of you get 2 for the price of 1. So we provide value on that hand as well. So without further more, we're going to get to the next one. To show you guys this works in completely different cities too. What I'm going to do is go back to Google, start this thing off again. And what we'll do, let's see. Oh, that's not under. Let's see. All right, so I'm going to use a completely separate, oh, there we go. Kind of jumped up in my recent searches. So I'm going to use not claimed, unclaimed property, but what I'll use is the Maryland revenue. And then what I'm going to do is colon, and I'm going to type tax lien. And here we go. It's the very first link here. And I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to, because there's not a fall on list of these properties. So what we can do, you guys feel free to read all of this. You guys are super smart, so you guys are going to read all that stuff. What I'm going to do is, oh, they actually have subscribed to emails. So I actually want them to send me some emails. I don't know how I feel about the state using emails. And maybe not. Let's not get that kind of access. All right, so click our tax sales schedules, and there's a list of the tax sales in certain counties for you guys. You can go and add them into your calendars, so you can be up to date when they're going to have those specific sales. Not what I'm looking for. So we're going to jump back one screen, and for you guys that didn't see the tax lien sales, here's the tax lien sales. So you guys can add these into your emails. These are what's going to go inside your emails. But for me to jump back to one screen, I want to go to county specifics. And I want to go to one of my properties in my backyard that I can move deals in. So I want to go to Wacomico counties. And here we go. We're going to open this tab. And as the tab comes up, we can now see what tax liens they have inside of their county. Now, why you guys want to look up tax liens, tax delinquencies, and how to know the difference in a tax lien and tax deed state? I think this should have been something in the beginning, but now that it came to me, I want to make sure that it's properly made note. So tax lien states are generally so whereas if a property owner or decision maker does not pay on the taxes within a certain time period, the lien will be placed against the property at which the rate an individual investor has invested on the lien. and once the investor comes to invest on the lien, there is at a pro rata that is applied to the lien, at which the investor will accumulate a profit per se. Many times this isn't a super major amount of money. Sometimes it's like 4%, but they hold it for 6 months, and then at the end of the tax lien, they're able to actually own the property. Whereas versus a tax deed state, if there's a actual if there's an investor who's involved in the case where there's a tax lien, the decision maker of the property went delinquent on their taxes, and then at the time where the city or the county decided to auction or lien the property, and placing a lien against it, they're then going to sell that lien off to an investor, where the investor can purchase the deed at the rate at where the delinquency laid at. And in many cases, they can own that property, or I won't say many cases, but the exact manner, they're going to own that property. And when they own the property, they have now purchased that property through a tax lien, or performed a purchase through tax lien through the county. So with that being noted, I'm looking for particulars to see where we need to be in order to many cases, you can go down to your local county's taxation or Department of Taxation, as you can see here, Department of Assessments and Taxation, and they can provide you with a list of particular tax sales. So let's see, 2023 reports. And I'm going to use that for later. Okay, so let's see, V County tax rates. No. All right, so what I'm going to do is actually go back to Department of Assessment, and Taxation. And I'm actually going to place in here assignment list, because they have several names for them. Okay, here we go. All right, so we're not looking up real property. We are searching for a particular county, and we need to go to where they're providing the counties. Again, you guys can check with your local commissioner, county commissioner, and they can properly guide you for that particular county. As I know, Maryland has several counties that are online where you can gather the list. However, there's also a few counties in which you can go down to the county and they can provide you a list. So each county is going to be deferred. This particular county that I'm searching for, I know they have it online. However, the process seems to have been updated since I have last gained insight. So what I can do as a quick reference is to jump over to where my cursor allows me to go, just to the tax sales information tab. And here we go for this particular county. So we're going to come in here. What Comical County is where I'm looking Civics Plus for taxpayers. And still searching for that local county's financing departments. Let's see. We're looking for tax sale excess funds. All right, so it might just be finance and budget. Financing and budget. Let's see, tax sales information. Here we go. All right, tax sales access information. Oh, so it's a list that they download for us. Sweet. All right. All right, so I need you guys to see this list. So let me share you guys my screen. But what I'm going to do also, guys, I'm actually going to save this list inside. So I'm going to use my cursor to show you guys the list. And so you guys can see the list on your screen. Here we go. So here's the list. I want to actually save this list and put it inside of my, let's see, 2024, and this is for Wacomico County. All right, and they give me a bunch of other stuff that I could use. 2024, and I don't know what that last part is. All right, but yeah, I can use this part here. I'm going to save this inside of my leads list because I have a separate set update numbers now. Okay, well, that's whatever numbers they're trying to update, but I don't need that for the sake of this live. I'm going to drop this into the drive so that you guys can see it in real time. The reason why I place these inside of my drive is so that I can keep all my leads up to date. And I mean, the more calls you guys make, the more money can roll in for you guys, right? All right. Let's get those deals done. Bring you guys leads like these, fresh, hot off the plate. All right, so I'm putting these in my Maryland leads box. And I'm going to drop them from my downloads. All right. So now I'm going to share this screen. Same list, guys, nothing different, didn't change anything, just swapping the list or swapping the screens. All right, so here we go. We have the access amount, the closing bids amount, and we can see the dates that they're sold. We can see that the dates that they were escrowed, and these are the outstanding in tax sale escrowed accounts. So these are individuals in which we can contact as well. But the reason why we are using them are so that we can contact these individuals, which also can be provided within our over-the-county list to know which properties are also going to be currently on the list. So one list, you'll have individuals that have purchased the list, as you can see. This is a great place for buyers. So if you guys are looking to buy properties and you need investors to close on them, you can come to where the purchasers are. Just making the differentials and tellings where the line meets is that the owners are completely different from the, as you can see, outstanding liens for the state of Maryland. So there's two completely separate ordeals that's going on here, but they got them as one. As you can see here, where the green grass grows is another property that you can purchase or send to them. Thornton Mellon has picked up several properties. So this is a great buyers, overall great buyers list. We're going to use the secondary list. So this list was up here on the tax sale information list. Over the counter is where you can find the up-to-date today's list that has been so as you can see, its tax sale will be June 12, 2024 at 10 a.m. So this is just passed at the Wacomico Civic Center. Pre-registration will end on June 11, 2024, the day of the sale. Registrations will be between 8:30 and 9:30. All right, so you can see which properties went under sales for that date. You can also see the date that they paid. You can see the date that they sold. Comparison of notes there. So while you're doing your due diligence, What I'm going to do is do the over-the-counter list for you guys here, so you guys can see what's up to date for today while we're calling these individuals. So what I'm going to do is actually upload this list into my drive as well, and the team can scout these to get a better in depth of what is current and what has already passed, cutting their workloads in half for them so that they can immediately get access to this information. So I'm going to share my tab with you guys so you guys can see this as it's opening up. Of course, you guys can, if you have a certain range in which you want to be in. If you're in the market for yourself, I mean, shucks, $300 is not a bad deal for a 3.1 acre property with the $25,000 turnaround. So you guys, if you guys can see, like there's a win here for you guys. Nanticoke Road, and it gives you the proper description. And you can also look it up by the trustee's name. Remember, guys, how I use the trustee's name is through the Secretary of Commissioners, County Commissioners. County, yeah. So I believe Maryland is a bit different. I think Maryland is the comptrollers of Maryland. So you guys can use the comptrollers of Maryland. But overall, it is the state secretary. Okay, so whatever your state secretary site is where we're going to go. So Maryland state secretary, or secretary of state. I don't keep saying that backwards. And then I'm going to search the business search. So we're going to do entity search. I'm not going to register my business. So just need to do a search, Maryland entity search. As you can see here. And I'm going to type the trustees center in. Okay, not coming up. So let's see. I'm going to use SStat for Maryland. So this is still the Maryland Department of Assessments and Taxation, as you guys can see here. What I'm going to do is look in the county of Wacomico for the. Again, this is the same site that I'm using if I were looking the property up directly through Netter Online, just so there's for all intents and purposes. That way I don't lose. That way I can keep you, retain you guys' thoughts on where we are, retain you guys' awareness of where we are at the present time of this video, so that the links don't throw you guys off. You guys know how exactly I got these links, and it allows us to progress forward. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna use the parcel's ID for this particular property. And mind you guys, I'm using a random property, nothing in particular. Using the map parcel because that's the numbers in which they provided me with. In order to get that number, these numbers here, it's going to be provided. So look in here, we see we have the parcel name, the property description, and we have the balance. So let's take a look here. Property account identifier. There we go. Oof, we still don't have the full numbers of that. My apologies. Let's see. Parcel number, town code. Oof. Okay, so I know another way of doing this. We're going to use parcel for this one. All right. While parcel is coming up, I'm going to share you guys my tab on my screen so you guys can see parcel. Guys, if this is adding any value to you guys, like, comment, subscribe. If you guys have any questions so far, please ask them below, and we look forward to answering them. All right, so we're going to share the window, parcel. Here we go. And we're going to look at a subject property. That is not my property where we're looking. Man, this thing is all the way off. Getting you guys some substance. Bear with me just a minute. Seems to be going on here. You guys are catching the live stream, thank you guys for viewing. If you guys are catching the replay, thank you guys. I know you guys are probably super busy. We're cranking out phone calls for 90 days. I believe we're on day like number 19. Yeah, day number 19. Of the episode number, what, 24? Things are really starting to get good around here. Okay. So it seems to be the big idea of this. Let's try this. Just waiting for this to load, guys. Screen's buffering. I want to make sure you guys getting the best of the content, but I want to make sure that all of the lags are not. Lags are the kinks are taken out, so you guys can see, because I'm using a lot of data, and I'm going to make sure that I'm propping this information in front of you. Alrighty. Let's do this one again. Back to parse out. And alrighty. Well, that's a lot of exposure. All right. Well, anyhow, you guys can see it from here. We're looking for the particular property that I wanted to show you guys, but this property here could be a great use. Huh. Okay. Let's see. Let's close that. Curious, why is this property not coming up? So we have 3.1 acres on Nanticoke Road, south of Tysken. So is it possible that I could just type this information in and let's see, parcel number. Back to Nanticoke Road, which is here. All right, so we weren't able to pull it up on the, let's see why it wasn't coming up on the map, because it's a part, it should be coming up for the actual property in this manner using the map, but oh, you guys. Exposure, emotional damage. Yeah, I'm not totally sure here why we're not able to pull this property up. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use a property that actually has an address along with it. Hope you guys don't mind. You guys are still getting value here, so I'm pretty sure you guys don't mind. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that off, and still provide you guys with this here, where we are links wise. There we go. Over the camera list, and here we go. All right, so want to use nothing in particular. As you can see, there's plentiful here from you to which choose from. State of Maryland for the use of, and then it gives you the address, and then it gives you the address, gives you plenty of property addresses to go through, and at which rate you can come in and use. So for the sake of this video, I'm just gonna choose one like, I don't know, for randoms, like this one here, which actually has a property address. So I'm gonna take this here and I'm going to place it into my calendar. All right, so we have this bit of information here. And we're going to place this name up top so that we can know the name first and the address. And we know the square footage of the property. Notes. We know that the property has a parcel balance due for 688 cents in the Salisbury area. Placing all this information out so I know what we're working with here. Parcel ID amount. Okay, so we need names up here, address, parcel ID. All right, got all that good information in here. They already had an auction sale for this year. So I'm gonna place this information in here to get in contact with them today and on a biweekly note. All right, so okay, and we're gonna start this early and we can call time. Fortune's in the follow-up, guys. Got to keep them in the calendar so we can call them back We want to see it. Best to close today. I'm confident of closing today. However, I like to assure that I keep up to date with the total amounts of conversations that I've had with them, the days that I spoke with them, if I visit the property, just general notating. All right, and I'm gonna actually turn that agree. Save. All right, so let's see if we get in contact with these individuals. So we got 507 Isabella Street. And this is in Salisbury, Maryland. And so what I want to do now is I'm going to actually drop this property in parcel first, so you guys can see the property for yourselves. So this is the property here. There is a loan on the property. We can't use this for concrete, just simply because we know that these third parties are not always accurate. So we only use them as for the grain of salt of what information they're providing us at. And it looks like there'll be a mechanic lien on this particular property. The lender's name is Gerardo Sanchez. So maybe we can buy the lien. And if we don't buy the property, we can buy the lien. And if we buy the lien, we can buy the property. Vice versa. Either or, whichever which may come first, we'll buy both. So we got a mailing address at that particular property. This is the only property that's coming up for this particular property. So let's go in the realm for looking at the stat again. State Department of Assessments and Taxation. Share my screen. And we're going to go to Somerset. No, we're not. We're going to work on. I apologize. Going to street address. And then we're going to 507 Isabella. Alrighty, and here we go. We have a name. We have actually two names on the assessor site. And so what we want to do is to contact these individuals based on what we have as so the previous individual which sold them the property, or if there's a lien on the property, at which rate PropWire is claiming that there is, the lien is actually owed to the previous individual. So maybe they leaned the property to, or sold the property, leaned it, or loaned it on a single seller finance. Who knows? They could be doing a seller finance here. Who knows? We don't know until we ask the questions. So this is 2 bed, 1 bath. 7,500 land area, 7,500 square footage of a legal description. So, got a map, got a grid, got a parcel this time, got a above ground. So total living area is 1,500 square footage. Okay, so I want to go ahead and get these individuals on the phone, shall we? So you guys know I'm going to use fastpeoplesearch.com, and I'm going to use truepeoplesearch.com, and I'm going to gather the name or the address first, the mailing address. Not sure if both mailing addresses are the same, which is a really good question. If both mailing addresses are the same, so what I'm going to do is just take the mailing address, which is the primary property. In the event that we do not find one, we can find the other, and they can reach out to the individuals in which we need to speak to, the decision makers. And so what I'll do is use Fast People Search first, dropping the address in there. And then once that is in there, we can use the information that we have to get both numbers, so be it that they do come up. So we have a Nancy here. My apologies, guys. Here we go. Oh, if it's supposed to open up in a duplicate, why is it not opening up in a duplicate? Okay, all right. More than one way to do this then. So I'm going to do the true people search, and then I'm going to do the same address again. Okay, so now this time I want to find a Juan Gomez Garcia. Here we are. Juan G. Garcia. All right, so now I got 2 for that one. And this one does not have a name number obtained to it. So sure, but at least send us some more money advertising. All right, so that name Gerardo Sanchez is coming up again. So I'm almost for certain I'm gonna call this number. Yeah, because I'm also curious. What's on? Let's find out what's going on. If there's still a lien on the property, if he owns a lien, what kind of lien is it? That sort of thing, you know. All things to be considered. We can find this information out ourselves. This public access, public information. But I pose the question, guys. I like to pop the $1 million question, you know. Full throttle and no champagne bottle. Okay, got his number, information, possible addresses. Don't see any emails for this name, which is fine. All right, so I'm going to close this tab. And then I'm going to hop into the next tab that's close and local. Hope you guys are still getting this. We're still live, still running. All right, so I'm going to go to the Nancy's name. And what we can do is use this name. And then we're going to use these names as possible references. Okay, cool. Got it. Separate the wheat from the chaff here, guys. And then also making sure that there's no double duplicate numbers here before we call them. Nope, there's one. And yeah, I think that's it. Yep. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and call these guys. Let's call these individuals up. See if we can get someone on the phone. Oh, we got email addresses too. So we're gonna send them an email too. So really quickly, just drop this email in there for them. Let them know the address we're calling in concerns of, which is 507 East Isabella. And this is here. Alrighty. All right, so they got emails out, and now I want to give them a ring and see what we can come up with.
I'm sorry, the person you are trying to reach has a voicemail box that has not been set up yet.
Get that devious triple tap in. If you guys are still viewing, please like, comment, subscribe, and ask questions if you may have them. Notice
I'm sorry, the person you are trying to reach has the voicemail box that has not been set up yet.
in this.
Please try your call again later. Goodbye.
All right, one more time.
I'm sorry, the person you are trying to reach has...
All right, I'm going to send them a text. You guys need the scripts? You guys know where to find the scripts? The sauce. You guys need the sauce? The sauce is below. Send your emails. Let's see. Now, really intriguing thing about this is, or what's really intriguing about the over-counter list is that you can provide this list here to Deal Machine and send each 2,602 of these individuals a mailer for less than $1, less than 79 cents, less than 60 cents. They have mailers for like 59 cents. You guys can send every last one of these individuals, 2,000 of these individuals for 60 cents on the dollar. 60 cents on the dollar, guys. And you can reach these property owners who are facing tax delinquency challenges. All right, back to my text message. Okay, let's see. My apologies, guys. I'm gathering the information that I see. East Isabella Street, Salisbury, Maryland, 21804. All right, and send. All right, on to the next one. Speed, speed, speed. Godspeed. All right, where's that voicemail? There goes those long dialers again. Super long dialers.
The number you are calling is busy or out of service.
Thanks. All right. That number's out of service. But if it's not, and I didn't triple tap on that one, so if it's not, we could just send them a text message and hopefully they answer. Oh, yeah, because it didn't even deliver. You guys know at the bottom, if you have iPhones, I don't know about you Androiders, but iPhones, you can see it at the bottom where it says delivery if they received it or not. Fun fact for all my technological impaired folk. Whoa.
Your call has been for.
Pick up the phone. We are definitely on for 2 hours today. I'm gonna get you guys somebody on the phone. Guys, it'll bring you guys more people.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system 3022.
All right, last round. Let's do it. Pick up the phone. My people are waiting for you guys.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system 3022493455 is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may
Here we go, guys.
or press 1 for more options.
Good evening. My name is Malachi-RESEAN. I'm with Evamir Express Homes, calling the concerns of your property at 507 East Isabella Street. calling to see if, and just curiosity, if you're open to selling. I'm interested in buying just a few more properties and took an interest in this one. If all things, this sounds good for you and would like to sell or curious when we can close or what kind of options that you have available, best case contact number from me is 202-878-3736. Once again, that number is 202-878-3736. It'd be greatly appreciated and hope to hear from you in due time. Take care. Bye. Oh, and they got iPhone. You ain't gonna see that on an Android. All right, so now we know if they got our message or not, or if that was a proper individual. And other happenstance, we're gonna keep it pushing.
Stop calling me. I'm taking a food.
Hi, Malachi. Wondering if this was the owner of East Isabella Street. If not, thank you kindly. Take care. It's in concerns. Hope to hear from you in due time. Take care. Bye. I try to leave it short, sweet, to the point. I didn't like that. I wasn't too fond of that response. It'd be hard to take that person, like, you know, in consideration when that email is kind of like interesting. Anyways, won't be calling that one back. All right, that's not a number. All right, that user's busy. All right, let's go to the second name that we have down here. All right, Juan Gourmet. Oh, the second name didn't have one. Oh, so we're gonna go to the. So the decision maker didn't have one, but let's see if the financier has one.
The number you have dialed is not in service.
Okay. All right, that one didn't work either. All right, that one's not answering at all. And there's my answer. Or adverse action. Okay, no answer on this one either. So this one's having a hard time picking up.
The number you.
Okay.
Welcome to Verizon Wireless. Your call cannot be.
All right, so those are those numbers. And I believe I have came to a good point to actually digress during the evening. I was not able to get you guys one on the line, but I think I was able to provide you with a good positioning of amount of value. Please, if you guys gain anything from this today, how we went about gathering the information from from pretty much the commissioner site, it's pretty super simple how we came across it. You guys saw it here. We even made a few phone calls to these individuals. to get in contact with them. So what next we'll do is we'll send them a mailer, letting them know that this is what we are seeking to do. This is the interest that we're taking in the property. Hope that this works for you. If it works for you, then we can discuss price. And at that point in time, or it may not even be a price. It could be just something like, hey, look, take this burden off my shoulders. Take it off my shoulders, and just please, by all means. I don't know what these people. You have to ask. These individuals could want a Kit Kat bar, and you guys are just not answering these questions properly. They could want bottle caps for all we know. Who knows? Solve these property owners challenge is exactly what we're here to do. We do it here live, and we're going to continuously doing it for the next 90 days until we have completed this challenge. So I want to thank you guys without further ado for coming in and viewing us. This is the I Am Urban Malachi-RESEAN show. I am Malachi-RESEAN in the flesh, or something like that. Whatever works for you guys. I don't know. Being, entities, corporation, LLC, whatever names up under the sun. I want to leave you guys with that, though. Wanted to know if you guys gained any value for this. If you did, please comment below. Let us know. Please continue liking, commenting, subscribing, and finding us in the proper places, and continuously sending us at Godspeed more value to you guys, providing more value to you guys in return of your retention and the timing, and pushing this up in the algorithms, guys, because no one else is providing this value like we do. Yeah. All right. So without further more, I want to digress here. I hope that you guys have a absolutely phenomenal day. Signing out.